Okay, we've got more possible evidence of non-human interaction with humans in ancient times. This is wild, guys. We've got to talk about it. And get in here. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. I talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please like and subscribe and let me know what you think in the comments below. Yeah, we're all familiar with the Nazca lines, the famous geoglyphs of Nazca. And we know now that the Nazca people likely were interacting with non-humans in ancient times. It might still be interacting with non-humans today. And I previously talked about the Blythe intaglios, the geoglyphs in California. Really, really interesting stuff. We don't know how old they are or what their use was for, but Tim Clark just contacted me and sent me this, and this is incredible. Did you know there were geoglyphs in the UK? That's right. We don't know anything about them, who made them, how old they are. But yeah, look at the Uffington White Horse, the Long Man of Wilmington, the Cern Abbas giant, very happy giant. But yeah, they have geoglyphs in England, guys. This is crazy. This is crazy. They have a geoglyph in Australia. Look at this, the Marie Man. Isn't that nuts? Isn't that wild, guys? What are the odds that these cultures around the world would come up with this highly specific art, that can only be seen from the air? This is nuts, guys. And that's not all, because and that's what it looks like from the sky, from the air. You can see this very inhospitable region. But check this out. There's a Russian geoglyph, at least one Russian geoglyph. That's what it looks like. That's the head, and those are the four legs and the antlers, and that's what it looks like in real life. But yeah, around the world there are geoglyphs, art that can only be seen from the air. What are the odds that all these different cultures came up with this very interesting, specific style of artwork that can only be seen from the air, all by themselves, independently of each other? To me, this cries out for an alien explanation. I mean, maybe a Silurian explanation, a crypto-terrestrial explanation, something NHI. That's where my mind goes. Maybe you can make a case that they could all come up with this independently of each other, but I tend to doubt it. What do you think, guys? Does this very specific style of art, going back to ancient times, indicate that humans were interacting with non-humans? We don't know what the purpose of the lines were, but to me, this really seems to indicate non-human involvement in ancient humans, or at least the humans were aware of them in trying to interact with them. And that's just one sign of ancient interactions between humans and non-humans. Of course, we also have the practice of skull binding. Skull binding was also practiced around the world, from Eurasia to the Americas, to Austronesia, Africa, Japan, China. They all practiced skull binding. And we know, at least in the case of the Paracas skull bindings, that the humans that practiced this custom, those skulls were found intermingled with the genuine elongated skull people, the actual NHI, hybrids, whatever they were, that were not human. And how do we know they're not human? Well, Brian Forster and others will take you through that, and I've taken you through that before, showing you their research and what they have to say about that. But, one simple method is that the genuine elongated skull people have a larger cranial capacity than humans that practice skull binding. You can't increase your brain size with skull binding. That'd be nice, right? But you can't increase your brain size with skull binding. However, the genuine elongated skull people have, for example, a capacity that may be 30% larger than an actual human's. So there were genuine elongated skull beings interacting with the human cultures of, at least of Paracas, that practice skull binding. So what does that mean? Does that mean the humans were trying to imitate the NHI? Were they trying to, if they could look like them, maybe they could recapture their abilities, or, something like that, because the elongated skull people are said to have had abilities that humans don't have, at least not without a lot of practice. To me, that either means that the humans were trying to, in some sort of cargo cult mentality, trying to develop the abilities that the elongated skull people did, or else they were trying to look like them in homage or even worship of the elongated skull beings. But yeah, there was elongated skull being, or there were skull binding around the world. So does this mean that there were elongated skull beings around the world interacting with humans in ancient times, and humans of those times adopted skull binding, again, out of homage or worship, or to capture the abilities of those beings? I don't know, but it seems likely that there were some elongated skull beings interacting with at least some of those cultures. I have a hard time, coming up with explanations for how so many different cultures around the world came up with this highly specific practice of skull binding, independently of each other, especially since we know in Paracas that the humans that did this were interacting with genuine elongated skull beings. Now we need corroboration on that. We need to find some genuine elongated skull beings amongst the skulls of the humans that practice skull binding in all these various places. And some of those may have very well been found. And if you know of examples of that, please let me know in the comments below. Now, TV shows like Ancient Aliens and many other documentaries will show you a lot of other evidence that seems to indicate that ancient humans were interacting with non-humans, including pyramids. We have pyramids around the world. This, again, very specific style of architecture, found all over, guys. It's just highly interesting. Now, some people say, well, it's just a good way to pile stones up, and that could well be the case, but some of these cultures do seem to have been interacting with NHI. So, were they all? Let me know what you think. But yeah, we've got geoglyphs around the world, guys. I love this. This is amazing. England, Australia, Russia. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, this is the Australian Stonehenge, which is really interesting. Another sign that the ancient peoples in Australia may have been interacting with beings. Is this interesting arrangement? There's this egg-shaped ring of standing stones in Australia. Could be older than Britain's Stonehenge. And it was these boulders arranged in this egg shape that are aligned to the summer solstice, equinox, and winter solstice. Very interesting structure. But yeah, going back to the Russian geoglyph, where is it? There we go. This moose thing. Yeah, we have geoglyphs around the world, guys. Do you think that these cultures arrived at this style of artwork independently of each other? Or is there some sort of common non-human thread linking this art? I tend to think that. And then you have the ancient skull binding practice, and at least in one case, those practitioners were linked with genuine elongated skull people. I tend to think that more than one of those cultures were interacting with NHI, and you have pyramids and all sorts of evidence that people around the world were interacting with beings. And I think they still are. But let me know what you think about all this in the comments below. Are you more persuaded now, if you weren't before, that ancient humans were interacting with NHI? Or are you just not buying it quite yet? Let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you've enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up. I sure would appreciate it. Smash the like button and the subscribe button and the bell to be notified of future videos. You don't miss a thing. Join me on social media, Facebook and Twitter, Discord links below. Love to see you guys there. If you wanted to support Cosmic Road in a bigger way, consider grabbing a coffee mug or a t-shirt in the merch store below, or by becoming a channel member. Channel members are rock stars, and I really appreciate your support. Thank you. Meanwhile, there's plenty of other videos on the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. This is Jack with Cosmic Road, signing out.